Everybody, good morning. It's Jen Duplessis, and with me today is Michelle Town. There she is.
Hi, everybody.
So Dave's on travel today. He may be listening in. He may not be. He's going to be in and out. And Todd, as everybody knows, is on a beautiful vacation in Hawaii. So we just wanted to welcome everybody in today. How are you doing today, Michelle?
Doing great. A little bit day off for me, so I'm a little bit more casual today, which I love.
Good. Well, so somebody, I hear a little feedback today, but we'll try to get through.
Well, I'll put it on mute, but I just did want to say hi. I'm in an airport. I actually tried to figure out how to turn on my camera, but couldn't figure it out for the mobile app. But hi, everybody, and I'll hand it off to you, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you. Safe travels. So, well, today what we wanted to talk about, and we would just welcome everybody into mortgage coach product, insane productivity with Darren Hardy and everything. And we, also this will be, is this our last call before? No, I guess we have another one next week for Christmas, unless Dave decides he's going to take that day off. But we wanted to first start off with a poll that we did. And so we have a lot of things on our agenda today, but we wanted to start off today with the poll that we did on the Facebook page. And we had, gosh, really maybe 5 people answering the question, but just getting back to insane productivity and how many jam sessions we're doing. These are so important. They're so great for recalibrating and resetting. And I see that a few people had a few jam sessions. So we'd like to just start by asking everyone today, how many of you have, how many jam sessions have you done? So Marcy, if you're able to put a poll up, that would be great. We'd like to get everybody's participation, just make sure that everyone is doing their jam sessions, especially now, right? At the end of the year. This is a great time, as you and I've talked in the last couple of weeks, Michelle, about getting our act together for next year, right? Taking the downtime that we need to get everything going. I think.
Hey, by the way, everybody, I did want to say one thing. So
there we go.
We are doing next Friday's call. Danny Arani was actually at Darren Hardy's high performance forum.
Yes.
And he took copious notes, and he's going to be on next Friday's call doing a debrief of his top takeaways. So it's going to be a super valuable call, and of course it will be recorded for anybody that's on holiday. But we are doing a call next week, and then also just a reminder, we put the same poll in the Facebook group, so feel free to answer it there. Back to you, Jim.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so we have 56 people, 56% of everybody voting right now, so we're getting there. And I know, Dave, you like to have everybody at 70, so we're almost there. And getting close, there we go, we're at 72. So it looks like 37%, well, there we go, 40% of people have had 1 to 3 and 30% have had none. And then there's a few little extras that have had more than 5. So I'd like to know, who's had more than 5. If you'd like to chirp in, raise your hand and let us know, because we'd like to find out what you did in your 5 jam sessions. That's pretty good. I love that. Absolutely love that. So Michelle, while we're waiting for someone to raise their hand and let us know who that is, and Marcy, you'll help me with that, I'm sure. Let's talk about the other thing that we wanted to address today, which is talking about our core values with our teams. And if we don't have a team, what are our core values? And I know that you just had a great meeting with your team to talk about your goals and what your niche was and your core values and your job description. So would you mind sharing a little bit about what you did in your team to help everyone get on board on the same boat so that you guys can plunge forward next year?
Hi, Michelle and Jen. This is Marcy, and I just wanted to go ahead and jump in real quick. We actually have quite a few people that are asking what a jam session is, and they just have no idea really. So if you can expand a little bit more on what a jam session is, that would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, I'm happy to tell you what a jam session is. And then Michelle, why don't you tell what a jam session is from your perspective as well? So a jam session is a blocked period of time, can be several times a day, or it can be just a large portion of the day where you're going to be working on specific projects or tasks, things that you don't ever get to by doing task switching, which is what Darren Hardy explains in Insane Productivity, is that task switching that we do, and then we never get to, tasks that are really, really important but may need a little extra time for us to dedicate to it. Now, for me personally, I do a couple of jam sessions a day, smaller ones, and then I have larger jam sessions a couple a week, so that I can work on a presentation or a project or maybe a review for one of my team members. But I use the other smaller jam sessions to do my total cost analysis. That way I'm doing all of them at the same time and I'm in a groove so that I can be insanely productive. That's basically what I do with them. I don't tend to have a jam session where I'm doing multiple things at one time. I tend to compartmentalize my activities so that I'm doing only presentations, only total cost analysis, only returning phone calls, only prospecting during that period of time. Michelle, how about you?
I agree 100%. I have to laugh. Wednesday, I don't know if anybody does the Darren Dailies, but Wednesdays was all about the reefer madness and multitasking. If you didn't listen to that one, if you go to YouTube and type in Darren Hardy and reefer madness, I really encourage everybody to listen to that one. I did it with my team as well and made them take the test that Darren makes you take, and it was hilarious when we were done. But I use a jam session to really focus on one idea. All of us are just used to multitasking so much, so our brain is moving in 100 different directions, and I don't do well with that anymore because I've been working Darren Hardy's program for about 1.5 years now, and I'm literally like, I just can't do it anymore. So I use my jam sessions to work on one specific project, and it's usually a big project. It's not always a money-making project for me. Sometimes it's a project of, hey, I need to finish up my core values, or I need to prepare for a presentation, or I need to work on what I'm going to do for my realtor gifts next year, or what kind of realtor campaigns that I'm going to do. But I only do one at a time. Right. So I block off 1.5 hours, and I do 4 to 5 jam sessions a week. And they're all at different times. I do 3 in the morning from 8 to 9:30, and then I do 2 in the afternoon, anywhere, sometimes between 1 and 2:30, and then the other one usually I do between 3 and 4:30, so I can finish up my day, feeling positive. A lot of times I might change it if I'm having a really bad day at work where everything I'm touching is just going sideways. I might move that jam session up so I can do something positive. I always want to end my day with something positive because I'm one of those that takes it home with me, and then I take it to bed with me, and then I can't sleep. And so I try to do something positive where I feel comfortable. Does that help, Jen?
Yeah. And I think it's also interesting too for everybody who's listening, the different time frames, it's really important to find what works for you. I was just coaching a realtor this morning, and a jam session that she originally planned to be from 8:30 to 9 every morning just wasn't happening because she was trying to force it into a time frame where she was trying to get her kids off to school and do all, get ready to leave. And so she was always too busy to stop and do the jam session. So we moved her jam session back to 7:30, and now she's able to accomplish it. So I would say, keep trying with it. Try to change the time frames. I like that you said, Michelle, that you do one at 1 and then one at 4. I do something a little differently. All my activity that happens from 8 to noon, I do a jam session in the afternoon to make sure that I accomplish everything. And then everything that happens from noon to 5, I do a jam session the next day to make sure I get back to everybody then. So everyone's got a different way of doing it. Whatever works for you is most important, I feel. So does anybody else have a jam session tactic that they use that they'd like to share? Because remember, this is a mastermind. You don't want to just listen to me and Michelle talk this whole hour. So if you do, raise your hand. And Marcy, again, you'll have to help me with that because I am new at this. And hopefully someone will raise their hand. And if not, I'm wondering, is Dave Wakefield on the call? Doesn't look like he is. Dave was saying that he's having a heck of a time on the Facebook page, doing his jam session. So we would love to hear what everybody else is doing to try to get these things accomplished. It's just really imperative. And I think you'll find, really all a jam session is have you ever worked late and you got so much done in an hour and a half after work when no one bothered you? That's what a jam session is. You're just trying to do them during the day and making sure that everybody knows that that's what you're doing so that you have a life. So, okay, so no hands are being raised on that. So maybe, oh, wait, there is a question by Diane. Can we unmute Diane? Leib, L-E-I-B. Can we unmute Diane? Hopefully she'll be willing to say hi. Once we get her unmuted, we'll interrupt here again. So if you did not see the interview that Dave did this week with Nicole Solari, who is a realtor who has been in the business for 4 years and is closing over 200 transactions, helping 200 families a year on paperless open house. We just encourage you to go back and look and watch that. And I believe that Dave has posted that on our productivity page, but if he hasn't, I'll go ahead and get that posted. As we look forward, and I'm about ready to ask you again, Michelle, as we look forward into the new year, we want to start looking at I'm always a believer in stop, start, and keep. What do we want to stop doing that isn't working? What do we want to start doing maybe more of, or tweak the way that we're doing it? And what do we want to keep doing that's working very well? And this interview shares some unbelievable tactics that we can use with our realtors to help their business grow as well. So it might be something you'd be very interested in watching. So Michelle, tell us what you've done with your team and how you sort of set that out for next year.
Happy to do so. So we were running into we usually do this in the first week in January, but we moved it up this year. We were having struggles. The whole team was struggling just with a lot of, pressure. I could feel the team starting to lose their mojo, as I like to call it. So we went ahead and I used a jam session to get this all prepped and prepared, and I surprised them with last week an hour and a half where I said, hey, I need everybody to turn off their computers and we're going to have a meeting for an hour and a half. And we actually talked about very much like start, keep. What are we doing? What are we doing well right now? What do we really want to keep doing? And then we went to what do we want to stop doing? And then we went to, again, what do we want to keep doing? Or what do we want to keep doing that we're doing? What do we want to stop doing? And then what do we want to start doing? And we used our core values with that. So we all went back over the core values that we had designed last year, and we wanted to make sure that we were still on task with that. When I design core values for this group, it is designed with everybody's input. So we develop it as a team. If you have a team, even if you just have one TC, that's a team to me. You want their input, because I truly feel that if they feel like they have an input into what the core values for the group is, that they're going to feel more a part of, and that way, and they're going to work, I believe they're going to work harder and smarter. So our core values are a positive impact on our clients' lives with compassion and customer excellence. That is our core value. And we all know it. We all live it. We all believe that if we can't pick up the phone and talk to a client with those core values intact, that we postpone that phone call. Or we ask the person, even if they're calling and you can feel yourself, our teams are very accountable. If we see that one of our group members is struggling on the phone, we'll wave at them, we'll throw something at them, we'll do something and ask them, and they know at that point that they'll talk to the client and say, hey, would you mind if I call you back in 5 minutes? They can have a chance to reground, because we don't want to become defensive in this business. Unfortunately, sometimes you become defensive because there's so much emotion on the client side. So we do that. We also went through and redefined our roles on, again, what do we think that we're doing really well? And we had one team member that was struggling, and we asked her why, and it's a very open forum, and she says, I don't like doing this. I'm not comfortable doing this. So we offered her an opportunity to give her some more coaching time. We offered her an opportunity to maybe pass that deal on to somebody else. And in this particular case, we had somebody else who was better at it. So they switched one of their tasks around. And again, it's only been a week, but everybody seems really happy. That's something that I would really encourage. I don't know. And then goals, making sure that you have your goals and ideas for next year. Ours, I'll share, is we believe that we are going to be more of a niche product lender, which means that we're going to really focus and really understand more of our out-of-the-box type loans, because that is where we believe that we're going to be able to pick up another 10 to 15% in business.
Yeah, and I think that's really key. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. And I just posted on our Facebook page, what are your core values for 2018, and asking everyone to share them there, so that if you're struggling at trying to put together, a phrase or a brand, what do we call that? I'm trying to think whatever it's called. If you're struggling to put together, that phrase, that maybe some of what everybody else shares will help jog, and help you get that along. So maybe, Michelle, you'd be willing to post yours. I'll post mine as well. But I think that getting your whole team on board and everyone working in that same direction is really critical. So thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's really, really powerful. And it does help everyone understand exactly where we're going next year. If we're all on a ship together and none of us know where we're going, I think that's really sad, right? For all of us, it's not going to be good. I also think in the niche, especially in our industry, we're a commodity, right? And everyone's always afraid to niche. And I'd like to hear your feedback on this too, Michelle, is that everyone's always afraid to niche themselves, but by niching yourself, you actually take you out of the commodity world and put you into an expertise. And I promise, even if you niche into 2 or 3 different areas, you'll get the other business anyway. But when you try to cast that big net, it's harder to get the niche business to begin with. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you look at any of my Facebook, any of my Zillow, everything that talks about who I am, the first word, this is my tagline, is I'm the girl who gets it done. And when people ask me why, I say, because I'm not afraid to step out of the box. And I said, and that is what I'm good at. I said, that's why your realtor has referred you to me. I said, it doesn't mean that I don't do the other stuff really well. I said, but this is where I excel, and this is where my team excels.
Yeah, bingo. So what are your niches?
Our niches are bank statement, stated, and we do a lot of the RSU, restricted stock options, knowing how to position a person's wealth. We use a lot of the mortgage coach to position that as well, where we'll position their wealth, and let's say they want to do 20% down, and we'll show them why 10% down would actually benefit them more. So we take it a little bit more. We want to become more than just, we don't define ourselves as your mortgage broker. We call ourselves your mortgage coach. And we say our job is here. We're not here to tell you what you can't do. We're here to show you what we can do for you and what you can do for yourself. And we need your input to do that. That's part of one of our stuff that we talked about in our meeting as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So I think that's really key, is knowing what you're good at, and then everybody's really great at it and they know they can come to you. I've talked to realtors before and say, look, I know you're going to give up 3 names, as much as we all don't like that, right? We know you're going to give 3 names, but now you'll know what to give me, because that's what I excel at and what I'm best at. Now, if somebody else, for example, I don't do construction loans. I do them, but not very well. So that's not my niche, right? And so if someone else has that niche and they're excellent at construction loans, but because there's some overlay that prevents them from being able to do it, now the realtor knows they can come to me and I can help them, but it's not my niche. So don't send me those so that it ruins my team. We're all a mess while the loan's happening, just because we feel like we have to be everything to everybody. I just know what I do very well, and I just stay in that lane as much as I possibly can. And I think that's really critical. So do we have any questions by anybody, Marcy? And any comments that anyone has to say about that? She might be on mute too. So I was going to share mine as well. I happen to, like I was just telling you before we got online here, we've had 2 8-hour meetings, and we're still not done with our plan. We're still working through a lot of things right now. And so our core values for the year is applying wisdom and intentional choices by shining off our star to dominate the market. So it's kind of a different approach. I mean, yours is about serving the client. Ours is about up-leveling ourselves. This whole year will be about our professional development as a team and dedicating a minimum of 10% of our time to educating ourselves, to up-level ourselves so that we can apply that wisdom and those intentional choices in what we decide to do, sort of like saying a niche, the same thing. So if you haven't done that, it's a great opportunity to do that moving forward. So any other comments on that, Michelle?
No, I think that's great. I mean, I truly believe that you have to invest 10% into yourself, into your team, into coaching, into bettering yourself. And I believe your clients feel that when you invest in yourself, because then they'll feel more comfortable investing in you.
Yeah, and the other thing is that just kind of sharing with everyone, I think I got the idea from something that someone had said to us or had talked about not too long ago on one of these calls is, well, I know what it was. It was you talking about your Zillow reviews and how you were compensating, or someone was talking about, gosh, what if we compensated our team for getting reviews during the process of the loan, et cetera. Well, I took that a different way, and I said I would compensate my team for, and I capped it. Okay, I capped it, but for them to watch this video, listen to a podcast, attend a PMI company's webinar, go to a conference, whatever it is. And I told them, look, if you do maximum of 5 a week, I will pay you $10 each time that you go to one of these or attend one of them, as long as you provide me with a written debrief on what you learned and how we could apply it to our team. And so they're all excited because, for my team, that's, each one of them, that's a couple $100 more a month. And in fact, one of my team members said, gosh, Jen, that's my utility bill. That's my gas bill. So I'm really pushing them to do this continued education and raise their level of professionalism, even if it's reading guidelines from an investor and then debriefing on what they learned in those guidelines and how we can apply that to our practice. So that's just an idea for people if you're interested. Maybe it's $5, maybe it's $2, who knows? But hopefully you guys like that idea, because I the other thing is I can't listen to every single podcast and every single class that's out there. So it's a great way for me to learn by reading their debriefs. And I got one this morning on my desk, ironically. Now he wrote it out, but I do have one. So I'm really excited to read it and see what it's about, and then he'll get a nice little bonus. So it's exciting. So what else did you want to talk about today, Michelle? Anything that's on your mind, since we don't have any questions from anybody right now?
Sorry, I lost my computer there for a second, so I'm back.
No problem.
So I think that's a brilliant idea. I used to do that about 4 years ago when we were trying to learn the new guidelines for, we had broken in from conventional and FHA and really moved into jumbo, and we did not know jumbo at all. So we would do, I'd give everybody a guideline. So let's say at that time it was Connecta was really hot. We would give them Connecta's guidelines, and I'd say, hey, we're going to talk about the 5-1 jumbo on Friday. I want you guys to do it. And what we do is, and they would win. And again, we had up to $50 that you could win. And when they answered the question correctly, or if they could stump, I called it Stump Michelle. If you can stump me with a question. And it was great because it created some great camaraderie. I actually think I might want to bring that in again. That's a great idea. But it's just something fun for the team where they can earn a little bit of extra money, because let's face it, it's going to be tight next year. And you're right, $20 is somebody's utility bill or part of somebody's utility bill.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. What is the game? Is it Kudos or something like that? So we were playing that yesterday as a means for having some fun with our team, in learning, which investor, DU or LP, X, Y, and Z. We were asking those questions yesterday, and just to get the answers, who's the one who's going to allow 1 year of tax returns. And so it was, it's kind of fun to do those kinds of games as well. Okay, so we don't have any questions. What I want to bring up is sort of in line with Nicole Solari. So everybody, please go and watch that video, okay? And I'm sure you'll take a lot of nuggets out of it, but I want to share something that we just started on our team, and maybe this will be helpful for everybody. It started off sort of as I'm trying to think, it's not Carl White. Gosh, he's one of the trainers. He's been on one of the calls before. It's not Carl with Marketing Animals, but anyway, he does some coaching. He and a realtor gal, do some coaching, and it kind of started from there, where they have this program called the Power Partner Program. And so I kind of amplified it, turned it into a Jen thing. And it's been really, really successful. And I feel that it's an area that I want to work on this year. And I want to just share it with all of you. Maybe it'll be on a podcast more detailed later on. But for now, just working forward with it. But one of the challenges that we all have in our industry is, and I think, I have never been there, but I really think that realtors, when they're taking their testing, someone's telling them, hey, listen, this is the script you use with a loan officer. When they approach you and say, hi, I'm a loan officer, you're a realtor, just tell them you're a listing agent. It's sort of like the cross to a vampire, like, stay back, I'm a listing agent. And very quickly we cave in for those. We cave in and go, oh, okay, you're a listing agent. So I thought, well, how could we go after listing agents? And I'm so tickled that this interview with Nicole came up at this time, because we're about ready to put into place this whole system. So what we did is we put into place a system. My team's called Kearney, which is my son Kirk and my daughter Whitney's names mushed together. And so we call it the Kearney Business Boosters. And what we're doing is putting together a whole plethora. It started off as sort of tier 10, tier 12 different things we could help a realtor do to help their business grow. And it went beyond the number, and then we had to change the name to Business Booster. And so I just want to throw out some ideas on what we're doing with each of these and how we're relaying this to listing agents. So Michelle, you had mentioned, and you and I both had mentioned several weeks back, that we're making lots of appointments for next year. These are what those appointments are. They're both for the buying agents that we work with, but also with listing agents, which caught them off guard. They're like, well, why are you meeting with me? I only list properties. But what we want to do is want to help them grow their business. So there's a lot of different things. First of all, if you've ever read the 12 Pillars of Success by Jim Rohn, it's fantastic. It's a little book, and it's a way that we start off with that. These are not the 12 pillars. But so if you've ever signed up for something, and it has a basic, a premium, and a pro level of pricing. The basic is, 2 or 3 things. The premium is, 7 or 8, and it includes the basic. And then obviously the pro includes everything. That's exactly how we're pushing this out. So for a level 3 tier realtor or a B realtor, we're only going to offer them a few things. For an A realtor, we'll offer them more. And then for our A pluses, our strong partners, our 12 disciples, if you want to talk about them, we offer them everything, every possible thing. And we've dedicated our team to help facilitate all of this, because I can't obviously be at every open house and every broker open and everything that they do. So let me throw out a couple of ideas if you're with me. Are you with me, Michelle? She's on mute.
I'm with you.
Okay. So the first thing is boomerang buyers. So we talk to them about boomerang buyers and say, with boomerang buyers, these are the buyers that are going to come back to you. But a lot of times listing agents, realtors, do not have the time to go back into their database to the capacity we do. We make a lot of calls to our database. So I want to offer the opportunity to contact them and offer an annual mortgage review, even if I didn't do their original loan, to talk to them about credit if that's what we want to do, but really to re-engage with their database, but we do it for them and with them. So they're giving us their database. We're now making the calls on their behalf as an arm of their team, as an extension of their team. So that's one. The other is a home buyer club. So we're engaging with people instead of people that are in credit repair or not quite ready to buy. We're creating this home buyer club, letting people be part of a home buyer club where we're having a series of first-time home buyer seminars or home buyer seminars throughout the year, and they're part of that home buyer club. And this is another way for the listing agent who has all these people coming into the open house or engaging with them to come to a class, or for us to have a webinar for them. So that's another one. When the listing agent or buying agent is out of the office and they're on vacation, they have an automatic responder that says, "Hi, I'm out of the office." Well, in those cases, we are adding ourselves to their out of the office and saying, "Hey, realtor," realtor says, "Hey, I'm out of the office today and or out of the office this week, but if you have any questions about loans, please call Jen and her team." So that's another added benefit so that they don't lose any business, and we support them. The Forever Home campaign, is this your forever home? And that's something that I had learned from Mike. I think it's the same. I'm having a hard time with that. Doing VIP open houses that are just for the 10, 10, 20, the people that are 10 to the side, 10 to the left, and then 20 in front. And so offering to help them with those VIP open houses so that it gives us opportunities to meet people who potentially will sell, people who might want to refinance, or people who just want us to manage their mortgage. I'm also doing a video series with realtors called Getting Real with Realtors. And so it's a little TV show that I'm doing. And there was a great interview with someone a couple days ago, and he shared, about his TV show. But we have something called Getting Real with Realtors. So I'm interviewing these realtors and placing their information on Facebook and kind of sharing with them. List reports. If you've not ever heard of list reports, it's fantastic. It's tied into the MLS. So as soon as a real estate agent has a listing, we're made aware of that, and we can now start providing them with all kinds of information, particularly a total cost analysis for that open house. Housewarming parties, and we've all talked about those, and we can break down any one of these. I love the professional intro day that was presented several weeks ago. Can't remember who did that, but on Fridays he does a professional introduction day. So now we're offering that as a service. We're offering power lunches. We have over 30 different power lunches we're planning to do next year that are just real quick power lunches. And we have a CXO at Apex Home Loans, which is a Chief Experience Officer. So we're offering that ability to teach them how to wow their clients and their client experience. And then we have another Power Partner program that's completely different. But I know this is a lot of information. I just wanted to share this opportunity. What we're doing is I'm meeting with the real estate agents and saying, these are all the things. Here's the whole suite of what I can offer you as a partner. And you can choose to be an A+ partner, an A partner, or a B partner. And this is what we will be willing to do for you. So I wanted to just share that with everybody. Hopefully there's one or two of these that you would be interested in doing. So what are your thoughts on that, Michelle? Is that something that would be of interest for you and maybe others?
For sure. My question on that would be more of how do you determine who's your A+, what kind of engagement does that realtor need to do with you to be an A+ partner? Do they have to pay for this? Do they have to provide a certain amount of loans for this? Are they, I want to be number one on your top 3 list. How do you determine what that is? Because that's a great idea.
Yeah. So, I think everybody's got a different definition. Dave, I saw that you want me to call on you. I'll call you in a moment. I think everyone wants to, or has a different definition on what they consider an A+ partner, an A and a B. So that's what I've done. It's just my definition. It's called 531. So an A plus is someone who has referred 5 or more clients to us in the last quarter. An A is someone who has referred 3 or more, and a B is someone who has referred 1 in the last quarter. Okay, so that's how I categorize them. So someone you're more engaged with, then we're more willing to expend our man hours in helping their business grow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then Pam asked a question. She said, you know, what do you do in your power lunches? Oh gosh, it's what I don't do in the power lunches. Oh gosh, well, we're doing I mean, I've got 30 of them, so I've got to try to remember all of them. We're doing total cost analysis, so you can do rent versus own. You can share any total cost analysis that we have. We are doing, you know what, I call it catchphrases. I'm not a believer in scripts, so I have a catchphrases power lunch that we're going to be doing. We're going to do another on a series on sales mastery. So it will be initial benefit statements, features, advantages, and benefits, overcoming objections. So all of those will be part of it. We're going to do a halftime to make sure they're on track for the whole year. We're going to try to do something about heroes, about putting your team together, you know, like the league, the hero league. So if someone comes in and says, hey, I'm Wonder Woman, then we need to make sure that they have people surrounding them that are Batman and Robin and things like that. So we're kind of working in that direction for that. Gosh, I'm just trying to think of all of them. I can look them up, but I don't want to have to go away from the screen. But yeah, so Pam, you know what I'll do? I'll put a post in there and just ask everyone what types of topics they use for their power lunches, and then maybe we can just build more for everybody, if that sounds like a good one. So Dave, what do you want to talk about?
Right on. So I love that. Why don't you put a post saying, what are you doing for, again, whether you want to call it power lunches or lunch and learns. I am hearing a lot of mortgage coach members doing that. Well, I put a post in saying, you know, what are you doing to help your realtors sell more homes? So, you know, when you really think about all these, you know, if you're helping them with open houses, it's to help them sell more homes, get more leads, sell more homes.
Yep.
If you're working with list reports, why are you doing that? It's to help them sell more homes. So if you guys could participate, I think we'll dedicate a call at the beginning of the year to just talk as, you know, as a mastermind and as a group of what are all the ways and things that we can do as lenders to help our realtors sell more homes. So if you could participate in that thread, and then I'll figure out a Friday in January where we'll make that the theme of the call. So I did want to announce that. Also, I may have missed it. So if you did you already mention the interview I did with Nicole Solari yesterday? Or?
Yes, several times. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I won't over promote it, other than I do want to say one thing. Nicole is closing over 200 homes a year, and her number one lead source is open houses. Mm-hmm. And Nicole, you know, moved into a market. She's only been doing real estate for 4 years, and her basically what she credits all of her success in kicking start was open houses. So yeah. Recommend that, you know, one, you listen to the interview, and two, I designed that interview so that it's something that you would forward to your realtors or even listen to with a realtor together and have a sense. So a couple times for the mortgage coach community, I really interviewed her this time for a combination of a loan officer and a realtor partnership together. The thought, let us know what you please.
Well, and I think that could be a great power lunch or lunch and learn as well, is to bring them in and, you know, teach them and really dissect that, you know, listen to it yourself and then dissect it and maybe stop it periodically and get feedback and insight from everyone on how they might apply what she's talked about. So right then and there is a great lunch and learn as well.
I think a neat conversation would be, because she advocates very much that she does paperless open houses, and that's how she gets so many leads. And she even talks about how awkward it is, you know, when families go, hey, where's the flyer? Well, we don't do a flyer, and, you know, she gives you some scripting. But I would love to know, you know, how many loan officers and realtors are pulling it off, actually doing, you know, a digital / paperless open house. And it would be an interesting conversation to have in the market. So back to you, Jen.
Yep, especially as we're moving that direction. Also, Walt, you had asked, you know, can I explain the 10-10-20? So I'll just go back to that real quick. So Anytime that a listing agent, and most of the realtors know this 10-10-20 rule, anytime you have a house that's for sale, 10 homes to the right of the house, 10 homes to the left of the house, and the 20 homes in front of the house are where they target people for open houses, because you know you're going to have all those looky-loos, right? So whenever you see those mailers that say, hey, this house was just listed or this house was just sold, that's what their target is. It's not always the neighborhood. It's usually the 10 to the right, 10 to the left, and 20 in front. So hopefully that answers your question. And so what I'm doing with my realtors is, as they get listings, we are co-branding and targeting the 10-10-20 to have them come in for a VIP sneak peek open house, because we know they're going to come in there and snoop anyway, right? So we bring them in for an event that we have together, and we do some door knocking and that kind of thing, where it fits, you know, not all the time, but where it fits. So hopefully that answers your question. Michelle, any comments from you on any of this?
I think it's phenomenal. Sorry, my dog is barking in the background. I love that. And I think the paperless idea, I have not, Dave, had a chance to watch it, but it's on my weekend watch for this weekend. It's such a smart idea, because you not only, you kind of force them, hey, yeah, I'll get you something or whatever, and you force them to get their information so that you can work the lead. And also you can, if you're doing that as a lender for your realtor, we use Big Purple Dot, and Big Purple Dot has an open house program. And what we'll do is we'll bring our laptops or bring our iPads, and the clients have to sign in as they come in. And we use it more for, we tell them, you know, listen, we do this for the realtor, but we also do it for the client. You know, we want to make sure that, you know, if anything happens while you're here, that, you know, we're covered. And we do it more of a security type thing, and we get the people's information. We don't what's the word I'm looking for? We don't try to solicit them too much, but we do send them a thank you. Hey, it was great. Could you give us some feedback for the realtor on how this open house went? And we get a lot of positive results. And then we send that report to the realtor when we're done. That is an added value for your realtor. It takes them off the spotlight of, you know, half of them go, I don't want a sign-in sheet. Okay, great. We don't want a sign-in sheet either. But don't you want to be able to show your seller how many people came through?
Right. Right. Yeah, I see an entire process brewing around this listing agent concept, you know, of not putting a blind eye towards listing agents and just, you know, putting our tail between our legs and saying, okay, well, they're a listing agent, they're not someone to help us. I think that if we can stir the market by creating more listings, by helping them do that, we're going to have more opportunities ourselves. So I see a whole process, you know, that's insanely productive, right? A whole procedure and system that we could all work together on in this mastermind to really go after listing agents more than we've ever done before. So I'm really excited about the year, and I just hope you all appreciate, or not appreciate, but, you know, enjoyed hearing about what I had to say, and I hope that it was helpful to you. You know, that's really what we're trying to do, is just make sure it's really helpful for you. And knowing me, I systematize everything. So that's why I gave it the name of the Kearney Business Boosters, and you can steal it and take it and run with it yourself, and, you know, be able to sit with someone and offer, you know, a multitude of ways that you can help them increase their business and be a partner with them. And so I think that's the real key, is that you're the partner with them at that time. So, okay, so we had a couple other questions. Hold on here just a second. Let me look at it. Michelle, did you say Big Purple Dot?
Yes, I did say Big Purple Dot. That is, they have an open house program that comes along with their system, which is really, it's quite impressive. I'm sure there's other systems, but I liked this one just because I had that CRM as well, that Big Purple Dot.
Okay, thank you. And then Dave, if you're still listening in, Joe wanted to know if you could explain the Facebook hack Nicole mentioned, preferably so a 5-year-old like himself could understand it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, first of all, I just heard it. I haven't tried it, but what I thought I heard is that she said that if you comment, so like you're an active user and like within 1 hour, you comment 12 times on different friends' posts, and then you push out your ad. Like as a realtor, she talks about how she promotes her her open houses on Facebook. It's like a boost. The algorithms of Facebook will take her post after commenting 12 times and superpower it. So, I don't know. I haven't tried it. I think that's what I heard her say. There were a number of people that commented that they love that. Obviously, if it's true, it's going to be pretty cool. So that's what I heard, and let's talk about it as a community. Also, let's continue as a community to share, call it Facebook hacks, tips and tricks to have more influence, communicate better, and again, help realtors sell more homes will help us close more loans. So if anybody else has any Facebook ideas, feel free to throw those on our chat. We are going to continue to have that be a topic on our Friday calls. So engage. Thanks for the question, and let me know if there's any more, Jen.
Okay, yep, sounds really good. Okay, so anybody else have any questions at all about what we've talked about? I don't see any extra questions in there. I'd like to see just a few more. And while I'm waiting for those questions to come in, I thought maybe this was also a good time to talk about, and I'm going to ask you, Michelle, with the Fed's raising rates this week, what has been your strategy to get the word out to everybody?
Well, it's funny that you say that. I just finished the Robert Stover marketing program, and we actually discussed this on it. And the video that I'm working on for this weekend, and I'll post it on our Facebook post, is the Fed's raising rates isn't what drives mortgage rates.
Yeah.
That supply and demand drives mortgage rates, not what the Fed did. So don't let what the Fed say scare you, but also, heed the attention of what the other statistics are, which is supply and demand of what the economy's doing. The economy's really good right now. You saw that the rates really didn't fluctuate much with the Fed raising it, and that is because I want to educate the clients on the Feds do not determine mortgage rates. They determine the Fed fund rate. So I can educate them to let them understand what the difference between the two are.
Yeah, I think that's really key, and I think that's it's really important because what happened this week, we won't have the questions coming in until next week, right? They'll be saying, "Oh my gosh, I heard that they raised rates." But now we need to discuss exactly what that means. That's short-term interest rate, not long-term interest rates. So, again, getting back to the 2018 theme that we have on our team is just making sure that we're leveled up, all of us. I've been, very involved with mortgage-backed securities for a long time, so I'm very versed in it, but not everybody on my team is. So if you're not, I would get your hands around this now and make sure that you understand, because the Feds are most likely going to hike rates 3 times next year, and you're going to encounter this over and over and over. So now's a good time to get your hands wrapped around this. So that's really great. I think that's wonderful. And I do hope you remember to post it, Michelle. It'd be great for us to hear it.
Well, and also what I think the great opportunity to use your mortgage coach to, even if interest rates are going to go up and if they are going to increase, if the Feds increase rates 3 times next year, this is a great opportunity. They've already come out and said there will be a growth in property values next year. It is across the board, anywhere from 7 to 12, depending on what area you're in. What does that mean for you? So if somebody calls me and says, "Oh my gosh, the Fed's raised rates," my question to them is, man, you should be more worried about the property values increasing. And then open up the conversation and saying, hey, let's take a look at what that looks like for you in a mortgage coach presentation. And I'm doing a generic one that my realtors can use as well. And I'm picking their price points. I'll ask each of the realtors. So I have my A realtors as well. And I have 25 in that A, I call them my platinum realtors. Those people get specific videos to their, like Keller Williams. I'll say, hey, Keller Williams has asked me to put together this video for you. And we ask them what their price point is. So this is a great opportunity for you to really work on your videos, especially, this is a slow time for mortgages right now. And the next 4 weeks are really like the dead zone of all of real estate. So take the opportunity to get your video library put together so that you can have something in January to offer your A-plus realtors. Here's what we do for our A-plus realtors. But great opportunity. Great question.
Yeah, there you go. Another business booster. Another business
booster. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's another way to boost their business by providing them, just for your A-plus realtors, those videos. You're not going to give it to everybody. You might just give it to them so that they can explain to people. I would just encourage you to, there's some areas that aren't going to have as much growth than other areas. So make sure that you're doing your total cost analysis on a what if, the waiting to buy, right? The waiting to buy. I use this with my listing agents in the Forever Home campaign. Is they might wait for the value of their home to go up $10,000, but at the same time, rates might go up a quarter. So which is worse? Which is better? And so make sure you know that in your market when you're presenting that to them so that they have a full understanding, of what does this really mean for you in your market. So I like playing with those quite a bit. There are different markets that we have, that do make a difference in that analysis. Dave, did you have something you wanted to say about that?
Well, I had just remembered something that I interviewed Kristen Messerly, I think last week, on Lunch and Learns for Realtors, and it was all around millennials. So like how to have a lunch and learn where you're talking about how to get more loans for millennials, and then she gave a whole bunch of her slides. So not only was it, I think a great educational experience in prep for that type of lunch and learn, but she actually gave links to a bunch of her slides. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew about it. I will share a link to that video in the, Mortgage Coach Facebook group, but just wanted to make sure I got a shout out for that in there.
Sounds good. Thank you for reminding me. And I love Kristen. I love listening to her talk. And I've had the pleasure of speaking with her too, in various places. And she's just a wealth of knowledge from statistically, she knows everything about everything in the market. She's just a great wealth of knowledge. So Michelle, we're kind of coming up to the top of the hour here. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or piggyback on that we've talked about today as we kind of wrap up?
No, I keep telling everybody, just keep pushing forward, take this time, don't look at downtime as downtime. Right now, a lot of struggles with some of my friends in the business right now are, oh my gosh, I don't have any loans in for January. I'm overwhelmed. I don't let that cripple me, because if you have a system in place, you just keep working your system. Don't let the system work you. Work your system. And like Jen, like you like to say, be on demand or be in demand instead of on demand. Figure that out. Figure out what that means to you.
Yeah. And, now's the time to test your systems too. If it's not working, if there's holes in it, there's leaks, this is the time to, do that as well. So I found my list of my lunch and learns. I'm going to spew off a few more of them. So one that we're having right in January is 6 quick tips to fast track 2018. Keeping the spark in your professional relationships. They're called newly visibles. The new millennials, I don't know if everybody knows about this, but everyone's kind of moving away from millennials and using the word new visibles or newly visibles. It's the next silent generation. So we have a lot of millennials that are looking to buy, but they're kind of silent right now because they just don't know which direction to go. I'm doing something silly called the Animal Kingdom of Leadership. So I'll be doing something like that. 7 negotiating personalities. How to fascinate. I love Sally Hoghead's How to Fascinate, and that helps realtors with branding. Priority management and interval working, which is what we do all the time. The stop talking and take action that, my book is all about. The superheroes that I talked about, something called mile 9. If you're a runner, you know that you kind of hit the wall at mile 9 and you don't think you can make it to the 26 miles. So I'm going to do something called mile 9, where they hitting a wall the end of the first quarter, as things are happening. Bookending your day using Hal Allred's Savers program. That's another one. Doing the total cost analysis for rent versus own versus waiting to buy. And business boosters, I'm going to introduce that as well. Client events, left, right, and sideways. The power of possibility, looking at loans that we have massaged to work. And so looking at that and making sure that my real estate agents know that you know, we can work these deals and think out of the box, like Michelle says, and kind of work the deals better than others. Becoming a referral magnet, lassoing your listings. That's another one I have going on. The workplace program, you know, the HR program about getting them as partners. Does your process have leaks? Their process. And then the last one is can't get to your laundry. You've heard me talk about that before. You can't get through all of your emails and everything. So I'm calling it can't get to your laundry. So hopefully, Pam, for you specifically, because you asked that question, hopefully that gives you a lot more topics and ideas that you could be engaging with them. I mean, 1031 exchanges, multifamily, foreclosures, Fortune is in the follow-up and helping them create a follow-up system. So there's just so many things that we could be educating them on to help them grow their business. So hopefully there's enough, a little fire hose there at the very end. So, so again, I just want to remind everybody, please contribute to our Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind group on Facebook. Make sure that you respond to all those questions that we're asking so we can all share with each other our cores, you know, our core values, what you're doing for Lunch and Learns. And thank you for those of you, Andrew, for contributing. I appreciate that very much. Continue to contribute on there. Look for Michelle's video. We have you on the hook now, Michelle. You have to get it done.
Love it. I love being accountable.
Yes, you are. Please share, you know, our Facebook page with others in the industry so they can join these calls, you know, weekly as well. And remind everybody, it is a mastermind. So we want your input and your feedback so that we can learn from you as well. And know that next week we have a wonderful speaker coming on with Danny, and I'm sure he's going to share with us tons and tons of new things that Darren has come out with, or just new ways of thinking, you know, what Darren has brought to us. So again, we thank you all for joining us today, and we're going to end just a few seconds earlier, but not much. Michelle, any last comments?
Have an incredible weekend. Make it great.
That sounds good. And everybody who's in California, our thoughts and prayers are with you. I hope everything's going well for you and your family, and you're not having to evacuate for too much longer. And thank everybody for listening in, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Dave.
Okay. Bye. Thanks, Dave.